Alrighty, we are going to do the last lesson in this quadratics unit. This lesson is a continuation on applications of quadratics. We're not going to be doing multiple choice questions today, but instead we're going to be doing long response questions. Let's do this do now. The height of a rocket at selected times is shown in the table below. Based on these data, which statement is not a valid conclusion? So we're looking at one that's false. Answer choice 1 says the rocket was launched from a height of 180 feet. That makes sense because at 0 seconds when we were starting this process, it was 180 feet. So that's correct. Remember, we're looking for something that's wrong. Choice 2. The maximum height of the rocket occurred 3 seconds after launched. Let's see. Here it was going up, 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 and then it started going down. Over here it started going down. So yeah, around here somewhere was the highest point. So that is correct. But we want something that's wrong, so that's not correct. Number 3 says the rocket was in the air approximately 6 seconds before hitting the ground. Well, I see here at 7 seconds, it's still up in the ground. It's at 68 feet. So it hasn't came to the ground yet. So 3 might not be correct. Let's go look at 4. The rocket was above 300 feet for approximately 2 seconds. Let's see 300 feet. It was 300 feet during these times, and that's 2 to 4 seconds, which is 2 seconds. So that's correct. So our wrong answer is choice 3. Perfect. Alrighty. Now let's get into some of these long response questions. A student throws a stone off a bridge into the river below. The stone's height in meters above the water, x seconds after they threw it, is modeled by the function below. And this is the function. So this is the height of the stone, and each of those x's are the seconds. The question reads, what is the height of the stone at the time it is thrown? Well, at the time that you throw it, that's when you're at 0 seconds, x equals 0. So, if we plug 0 into this function, if we plug 0 in, this would cancel off, this would cancel off, and we'd just be left that at 0 seconds, we are at 15 meters above water. Alrighty, let's look at the second regions question. The number of mosquitoes in Alaska in millions of mosquitoes as a function of rainfall in centimeters is. How many centimeters of rain will produce the maximum number of mosquitoes? So we want to know the max. So here I already know since it's a negative x squared, we're going to have some graph that's looking something like this. And we want to find the maximum right here. Well, to find a maximum, all you got to do is find the vertex. So, our vertex formula is negative b over 2a. Let's do it. This is our a. Our a is this negative 1. And our b is 14. If we needed c, it would be 0. So we have negative b is 14 over 2 times negative 1, which gets us 7. And x is talking about the mosquito, so it is 7. So they want to know how many centimeters. So we would say at 7 centimeters, we have the max number of mosquitoes. Alrighty. And you could have also done this by just looking at the graph. Let's do this right now. I'm just typing it into my calculator. The picture is a little wonky, but let's go look at the table. I'm going to go and look and see it's going up, 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 but then it starts coming down. So this is the point where it's the middle point, the vertex, 7 centimeters. All right, let's look at this next question. An object is launched from a platform. In height, in meters, x seconds after the launch is modeled by this equation. What is the height of the object at the time of launch? Remember, time launched is anytime the seconds equals 0. If you plug 0 in for x, this part would cancel out, this part would be canceled out, and you would just be left with 60. So you could write at launch, the object was 60 meters high. Good. Anytime they actually where something starts with the initial height or anything like that, we're talking about when x equals 0. All right, let's look at this next one. You are trying to dunk a basketball. You will need to jump 3 feet into the air to dunk the basketball. The height that your feet are above the ground is given by this function. What is the maximum height your feet will need to be above ground? Remember, anytime we're talking about maximum or minimum, we're also talking about the vertex. And to find the vertex, we do negative b over 2a. Here my a equals negative 20, and my b equals 15. So negative 15 over 2 times negative 20. Let's see. That would give us negative 15 over negative 40. Once you divide that, it gives you 3 over 8. 3 over 8, this is just our x, which is seconds. But they want to know what's the maximum height. So that means we have to find what h of h is. So h, when the seconds is 3 over 8, equals negative 20, 3 over 8 squared, plus 15x. Oh, not x. We're going to replace x with 3 over 8. Now let's plug this in. Negative 20. Replace your x with 3 over 8. Squared plus 15. 3 over 8. And we get 45 over 16. So a sentence we could write is the max height your feet will be above ground is 45 over 16. Good. Let's look at the next question. Tamara has 2 sisters. So sis 1 and sis 2. One of the sisters is 7 years older than Tamara. So 7 plus Tamara. The other sister is 3 years younger than Tamara. So Tamara minus 3. The product of Tamara's sisters' ages, product means to multiply, so we have to multiply both of these things, is 24. So 7 times t is 7t. 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. T times t is t squared. And t times negative 3 is negative 3t, which equals 24. Now I'm going to subtract the 24 and bring it all to one side and combine like terms. and put it in standard form. So this will give me t squared plus 5t. Oh, 4t, I meant 4t. And then negative 21 minus 24 is negative 25 equals negative 45 equals 0. Now, you could use the quadratic formula here, but that might take you longer. I'm actually going to use the factoring method where I look and see what can multiply to negative 45 and what could add to 4. And it turns out being 9 and 5. Now, if we set each of these equal to 0, we would get that t equals negative 9 or t equals 5. I definitely can have a negative age, so that's not going to be the case. So Tamara is 5 years old. Good. All right, let's look at the next question. The length of a rectangular sign is 6 more than its width. So 6 plus the width. The area of the sign is 432 square inches. So we have this times this gives us 432. Oh, I missed something. 6 more than half its weight. So we have to put a 1/2 here and a 1/2 here. Okay. 6 times W is 6W. 1/2 W times W is 1/2 W squared equals 432. Now let's subtract the 432 and get everything in standard form. Alrighty. We don't know how to do the add multiply trick with something that has a 1/2 in front of W squared. So I'm actually just going to use the quadratic formula. My A is 1/2, my B is 6, and my C is negative 432. Alright, let's go over how to do this. Negative B plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. This will give me negative 6 plus or minus. Why did I mean to put A here? I meant to put 1/2. And 2 times 1/2 is just 1. And let me type this other thing in. 6 squared minus 4, 1/2. Minus, no, times, negative 432. Which gets us 900. And what is the square root of 900? 30. So now we're going to have negative 6 plus 30 and negative 6 minus 30. This will give me 24, and this will give me negative 36. I can't have the answer negative 36 because I cannot allow my W to equal negative number, my width. So I know that my width is 24, and let's find my length. The formula to find length was 6 plus 1/2 W. So let's do that now. 6 plus 1/2. My W is 24. And when we do that, we get that the length is 18. Perfect. Alrighty. Let's go look at the next question. A school is building a rectangular soccer field that has an area of 6,000. The soccer field must be 40 inches longer than its width. So 40 plus W and W. So we're going to have, let's multiply these together since area gets multiplied, and we're going to equal it to 6,000. 40 times W is 40W. W times W is W squared equals 6,000. Let's subtract the 6,000, and we get W squared plus 40W minus 600 equals 0. Because there's no number in front of the W, I could go ahead and use the add multiply trick. So I'm trying to find what multiplies to 600, which is why I'm using this trick. And then I need one of those numbers to add or subtract to 400. $10 and $60, no. $12 and $50. $15 and $40. What would be my numbers? 106. If we do 160, that would work. So W plus 100 which when you do the opposite makes it a minus 100. And then W minus 60, which makes us a positive 60. So my width is going to be positive 60, and now I need to find my length. Length equals 40 plus W, so length equals 40 plus 60, which is 100. Perfect. Let's go look at the next question. A landscaper is cutting a rectangular flower bed such that the width is half its length. Okay. The area is 34, so let's do 1/2 L times L, which is L squared, equals 34. Divide by 1/2, and we will get that the length squared equals 64. Take the square root of both sides. That would be length equals 8. Because we cannot have a negative length, so that's why I don't put the plus or minus. So length equals 8. Width is 1/2 length, so 1/2 8 is 4. And let's look at this last question we have here. A contractor has 48 meters of fencing that is going to be used as the perimeter. Perimeter means to add, of a rectangular garden. The length of one side of the garden is represented by X, and the area is 108. So let's think about it. We don't know what this one is, but a contractor has 48 meters of fencing that is going to be used as the perimeter. 48 meters. So if this is X and this is X, and we know perimeter equals 48, the formula for perimeter is 2 length plus 2W. So perimeter equals 2, we're replacing length with X, plus the 2W. So this is our perimeter. They told us was 48. Let's subtract the 2x. We get 48 minus 2x equals 2w. Divide by 2. W equals negative x plus 24. Alrighty, so now we have that my width is negative x plus 24, and my length is x, which equals 108. So this is going to end up giving us negative x squared plus 24x. Now, what are we going to do? Let's subtract the 108. We get negative x squared plus 24x minus 108 equals 0. We never want to do the add multiply thing if there's a number in front, so let's factor out the negative 1. And then we get x squared minus 24x plus 108 equals 0. We need to find two numbers that are going to multiply to 108 but add to negative 24. And I got negative 6 and negative 18. So our thing would be x equals 6 and x equals 18. So these are our two dimensions. And that wraps up our lesson on long response questions with applications.